You got some cool player feature for us today, yeah?
Yeah, DJ, now you guys know that I've been talking up Jack Lindsey since his redshirt freshman year, driving all of you guys crazy because he caught my eye in a preseason scrimmage. I couldn't believe the change he'd made since I'd last seen him in high school, but you know, Jack does admit he was pretty much lost when he first arrived on campus as a skinny freshman.
My first year, I mean, I didn't belong here. You can ask all the other guys. Like, I was looking around and I had all these other quarterbacks a lot better than me, and so I just tried to keep working on my craft and getting bigger and stronger.
Jack Lindsey is, in fact, the very type of player Barry Lunny was talking about when he said this earlier in the week.
There's players that can help you maybe not until year 2 or year 3. I think that's the job of the coach here, is you got to really look through and comb through this state, sift through this state really, really thoroughly, and find that diamond in the rough.
For the better part of 4 seasons, Jack Lindsey labored behind the scenes, getting an occasional mention from his coaches for his work habits and his smarts. But it wasn't until Lunny took over as interim head coach that for the first time we got a hint that Jack Lindsey might see the field.
Jack's got some really nice qualities as a quarterback, and he actually worked in there a little bit yesterday, made a couple nice throws, and so who knows how this thing's going to progress.
Indeed, against LSU, when first K.J. Jefferson and then Nick Starkel went down, suddenly there was that diamond in the rough on the field for the first time as a college quarterback. Arkansas fans quickly saw the results of the work he put in over those years. After this 30-yard run on his first snap, he did this.
Junior from Fayetteville, Arkansas, the 5th Arkansas quarterback to play this year and the 3rd to play tonight. Lindsey wide open. Mike Woods, touchdown. Good drive by Arkansas. Very nice drive.
Whenever we motioned to empty, I saw their defense give their empty checks. So great job by the O-line, and Mike ran a great route and he was wide open. I mean, I think Bugs Bunny could have made that pass.
But Bugs Bunny can't read a defense like this young man who, as it turns out, was getting a full dose of quarterback X's and O's as a kid from a former Razorback quarterback in his own extended family.
You know, he was coached by, at both Fayetteville and at Springdale by Zach Clark, a good friend of mine, you know, that thought really highly of him.
He's also an uncle for me, too. So growing up, we would have, like, Thanksgiving dinners and stuff, and most kids in 7th, 6th grade aren't really worried about football and all that. They're just there to get their food, and my my uncle's drawing up protection tests for me and different defenses and fronts and stuff. So it's just a real testament to him.
Now, DJ, as I understand it, we still don't really know if he's going to get the start at quarterback today, but you are standing by with somebody that knows Jack Lindsey pretty well.
Yeah, I've been debating if I want to ask him. I'm talking to Mike. He says, we're not sure who's going to start today. He said, I might be happen to be standing by somebody who might know what the deal is. Can I ask, or will you not tell even if you knew?
Well, the plan is for him to start. The plan is for Jack to start today, so
yes.
it's going to be good.
Yes, I love it. And that being said, man, talk about that emotion. Razorbacks, you know what I mean? We all know the legacy with the family. You just showed us a picture of Jack when he was about this tall, of Houstondale Nut. You're in the background just grinning. It must feel special being here on a day like this.
It does. I mean, it's a dream for him, and it's just great for our family and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
What were your thoughts of the LSU drive? He gets in there and does his thing. Not surprised.
I wasn't surprised. That run surprised me. That 30-yard run kind of surprised me. That may have been the longest run he ever had in his life.
You know, that's the longest run from a quarterback in the past 10 years.
I'd heard that. That's wild. That's wild.
That's
so that's great.
He's making history already. And I've heard he's so composed. He knows the offense just about better than anybody, not just in the quarterback room, but almost on the team. For him to come in and just act like he didn't skip a beat, he's been preparing for this game, that moment, probably his whole life.
Yeah, he has. He's always dreamed of playing quarterback for the Hogs, and he's always been a student of the game and understanding all of that. And, you know, my dad played for Minnesota, was captain of special teams, and knew the rules inside and out, and in fact was the 3rd-team quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings because of his brain power. So I think Jack got a lot of that from him and everything.
He didn't get that from you?
I was just going to run a curl and a drag.
Yeah, that's it, baby. That's it. You know, today's matchup, you know, Kelly Bryant, you know, everybody thought he wanted to come here and play quarterback for the University of Arkansas. Now we could have a matchup Jack Lindsey, Kelly Bryant, who used to be one of the top players at Clemson in the country. I mean, emotions going into the game. Is Jack the type that sometimes needs to settle in, or is this just another walk in the park for him?
You know, usually through the years with him, if you could get him to the game dressed, he was going to do all right. You just got to get him to the game. He may have two different socks on, two different shoes on, but if you could get him there, he usually did pretty good.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm always curious to see when you have, quarterbacks in, usually something bad is going to happen. That's just part of the game. Some adversity, maybe an interception, catches off guard. How do you expect him to respond?
I think he'll respond good.
Yeah.
I think he'll respond good. You're right. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You can't be perfect on every single play out there. I mean, how you watch NFL football yesterday and you saw that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it is going to be how he responds, and I think he'll do fine. I really do. I think he'll do good.
I like it, man. Look, Jack Lindsey, we got Lindy Lindsey here, the Lindsey legacy. How awesome and poetic would that be if he's the quarterback that snaps this 18-game SEC losing streak? You're a young boy.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I'll tell you a funny story about number 18.
Yeah.
My dad's number was 21. My number was 88.
Yeah.
The middle two numbers are 18, and it wasn't by design.
Ooh,
so it's kind of, and then 18-game winning. Hey, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
It's a little poetic. That's
that'd
what
be
I'm
awesome.
talking about.
It'd
Man,
be
thanks
awesome.
so much for being on the show. I know you're ready to get in there, see warm-ups and get that going. We'll let you head on out. But guys, we're about to go to break. When we come back, we got much more Picture on Nation Game Day show. Sisters just showed up. I told you about the sisters that would fight somebody. She just showed up here. Val Powell standing by. But we have our shout-out segment coming up after the break.